This animal you're seeing now has extremely bizarre behavior. Well, today you'll learn about extremely shocking things that animals do that almost nobody knows about. Curious? Join us and let's go. Number 20. The Reindeer Cyclone. In the vast Arctic plains, reindeer have developed a defense strategy that seems like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. When threatened, hundreds of reindeer organize themselves in a dynamic circular formation, creating a true living cyclone. This strategy, known as the Reindeer Cyclone, is an impressive demonstration of collective coordination. The formation isn't random. Adult males occupy the outer perimeter, while females with calves remain protected in the circle's center. The group moves at speeds that can reach 50 miles per hour, spinning as a single organism. This coordinated movement creates an optical illusion that completely confuses predators, making it impossible for wolves or bears to identify a specific prey. The technique is so effective that even experienced Viking hunters, known for their exceptional skills, were baffled by this phenomenon. Number 19. The Sex Change of Clownfish. In tropical waters, among the tentacles of anemones, clownfish display an extraordinary biological characteristic, the ability to change sex. All clownfish are born male, but live in hierarchical groups, where only one dominant pair reproduces. When the dominant female dies, the largest male in the group undergoes a complete transformation, becoming a functional female. This change isn't just superficial. It involves a complete reorganization of reproductive organs and significant changes in the brain. The process begins with neurological changes, with certain areas of the brain expanding to match the female pattern. The testes gradually dissolve, giving way to functional ovaries. This evolutionary adaptation maximizes the species' reproductive potential, ensuring there's always a breeding pair available within the social group established in the anemone. Number 18. The mourning ritual of dolphins. In the ocean depths, dolphins exhibit behavior that suggests a deep understanding of death. When a group member dies, other dolphins often carry the body of their dead companion for days or even weeks, performing an apparent mourning ritual. During this period, dolphins show clear signs of stress and changes in their communication patterns. Scientific observations have documented cases where dolphin mothers carried their dead calves for up to 17 days, constantly pushing them to the surface in an apparent attempt to make them breathe. The behavior isn't limited to close relatives. Entire groups may participate in this ritual, taking turns keeping the body afloat and protecting it from predators. Specific sounds are emitted during this period, different from those used in other social situations. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 17. The Mystery of Octopus Autophagy. In the ocean depths, octopuses exhibit one of the most disturbing behaviors in the animal kingdom. In certain circumstances, especially in captivity, these highly intelligent cephalopods begin to consume their own tentacles. This phenomenon, known as autophagy, occurs systematically and usually precedes the animal's death within days. Scientists have discovered that this behavior isn't related to hunger or poor environmental conditions. Instead, unknown infections seem to trigger a cascade of neurological and hormonal changes that lead to this self-destructive behavior. Most intriguing is that this phenomenon has never been observed in wild octopuses, suggesting a complex connection between captivity and the development of this behavior. Number 16. The Great Red Crab Migration. On Christmas Island, an extraordinary natural spectacle unfolds annually, the mass migration of more than 40 million red crabs. This epic journey is synchronized with astronomical precision, determined by the combination of lunar phases and the start of the rainy season. Most impressive is how these small crustaceans, with their tiny brains, manage to coordinate such a complex migration. Male crabs lead the march, crossing kilometers of rainforest to the coast. Arriving first, they build elaborate burrows for mating. Females follow shortly after, and after mating, remain in the burrows for 2 weeks, incubating their eggs. The moment of egg release into the ocean is perfectly synchronized with the last quarter moon, when tides are most favorable for larval survival. Number 15. The regenerative power of the axolotl. In Mexico, in the waters of Lake Xochimilco, lives a creature with seemingly magical powers. The axolotl, an amphibian that maintains larval characteristics even in adulthood, possesses a regenerative capacity that defies our understanding of biology. This animal can regenerate not only lost limbs but also vital organs, including parts of the heart and brain. The regenerative process begins immediately after an injury. Cells near the damaged site dedifferentiate, forming a cellular mass called a blastema. These cells are reprogrammed to transform into any type of tissue needed for reconstructing the lost part. Most impressive is that the axolotl doesn't form scars. Regeneration is perfect, leaving no traces of the previous injury. Scientists have discovered that these amphibians possess unique molecular signals that suppress inflammation and scarring, allowing complete regeneration. Number 14. The Monarch Migration. Monarch butterflies perform one of the most impressive migrations in the animal kingdom, traveling up to 3,100 miles from Canada and the United States to the forests of Mexico. Most extraordinary is that this journey is performed by a super generation of butterflies that lives 8 times longer than their predecessors. Continuing from the previous translation, these migratory butterflies find their way to the same fir groves that their great-great-grandparents used, even though they've never been there before. Scientists believe they use a combination of solar positioning and Earth's magnetic field for navigation, but the exact mechanism remains a mystery. Upon arriving in Mexico, tens of thousands of butterflies cluster on a single tree, creating a stunning visual spectacle. Number 13. The self-destructive behavior of lemmings. In the Arctic region, lemmings are protagonists of one of the most intriguing behaviors in the animal kingdom. These small rodents exhibit dramatic population cycles that culminate in mass migrations. During these events, thousands of lemmings move together across the tundra, crossing rivers and facing dangerous obstacles. Contrary to popular myth, they don't deliberately lose their lives en masse, but their determination to move forward during migrations often results in accidental deaths. Scientists have discovered that this behavior is related to hormonal changes triggered by overpopulation and resource scarcity. During these journeys, lemmings demonstrate extraordinary endurance, capable of swimming for hours in freezing waters and surviving considerable falls. Most surprisingly, even newborn pups participate in this migration, guided by an instinct not yet fully understood by science. Number 12. The zombie fungus. In tropical forests, a parasitic fungus executes one of nature's most impressive manipulations. This organism infects carpenter ants and literally takes control of their bodies and minds, turning them into zombies. The process begins when fungal spores fall on an ant and penetrate its exoskeleton. Once inside the host, the fungus produces chemicals that alter the ant's behavior, making it abandon its nest and climb to a specific height on a plant. There, always at dusk, the infected ant sinks its mandibles into a leaf vein, executing the death grip. After the ant's death, the fungus continues its macabre cycle, sprouting from the insect's skull and releasing new spores to infect other victims. Number 11. The Decorator Bird. The bowerbird demonstrates one of the most sophisticated behaviors in the animal kingdom in terms of aesthetics and creativity. This extraordinary natural architect builds elaborate structures known as bowers, which it then meticulously decorates with colorful objects to attract mates. This is one of the rare manifestations of aesthetic sense documented in the animal kingdom. The male spends hours collecting specific items: vibrant flowers, colorful fruits, shiny shells, and even artificial objects like pieces of glass and plastic. Each species has its chromatic preferences. For example, the satin bowerbird has a predilection for blue tones. Most fascinating is that some males even use charcoal and plant juices to paint the walls of their constructions, demonstrating a surprising level of material manipulation. Number 10. The Parrot Fish. In the crystal-clear waters of coral reefs, the parrot fish executes one of nature's most unusual diets. Equipped with powerful jaws and teeth stronger than those of sharks, this fish literally eats coral rocks and excretes fine sand. Their teeth are composed of fluorapatite crystals arranged in a unique pattern that makes them extraordinarily resistant to abrasion. A single parrotfish can produce more than 200 pounds of sand per year. This process not only contributes to the formation of tropical beaches, but also plays a crucial role in coral reef health. By cleaning areas of dead coral, these fish create space for new coral growth, keeping the ecosystem in balance. Number 9. The maternal cannibalism of crabs. In behavior that defies the logic of species preservation, females of certain crab species occasionally feed on their own offspring, This phenomenon, known as filial cannibalism, occurs primarily when females face prolonged periods of food scarcity. A single female can produce up to 100,000 eggs at a time, and research shows that crabs that recently produced eggs consume about 25% of their own larvae, compared to 90% consumed by crabs that haven't recently spawned. This paradoxical behavior suggests a delicate balance between individual survival and species preservation. Number 8. The woodpecker. The woodpecker performs one of nature's most impressive feats, striking wood up to 12,000 times per day without suffering brain damage. This seemingly destructive behavior is actually a masterpiece of natural engineering. The bird has extraordinary adaptations that allow this intense activity. Its skull is equipped with specialized spongy bones and a hyoid bone that wraps around the brain, functioning as a natural impact absorption system. Additionally, its brain is positioned to minimize the impact of strikes. This behavior, far from being destructive, plays a vital role in controlling insects that can harm trees. Number 7. Mountain goats. Now let's talk about mountain goats, true climbing artists that seem to defy the laws of gravity. These extraordinary climbers are capable of scaling nearly vertical walls with an ease that leaves even the most experienced human climbers impressed. The secret to their ability lies in a perfect combination of physical adaptations. Their feet are equipped with split hooves that have rough pads and sharp edges, functioning like natural climbing shoes. Between their toes, they have spurs that provide additional balance and traction. Their powerful shoulder and neck muscles allow them to literally pull their heavy bodies up vertical rock faces. Their low center of gravity keeps them firmly anchored to the mountainside, while their keen sense of balance helps them find the safest footholds. This extraordinary behavior is the result of millions of years of evolution, allowing these goats to survive in environments where few other mammals would dare to venture. Number 6. The synchronization of fireflies. In Southeast Asian forests, a luminous spectacle occurs that defies simple scientific explanations. Thousands of fireflies flash in perfect synchrony, creating a light display that seems orchestrated. This phenomenon, known as synchronized bioluminescence, happens without a central conductor coordinating the actions. Each firefly has an internal mechanism that controls its flashing, but somehow, entire groups manage to synchronize their flashes within minutes. Studies have revealed that the insects can adjust their rhythm based on their neighbors' flashes, but the exact process that allows thousands of them to achieve perfect synchrony remains a mystery. The precision is such that in some species, the difference between flashes is less than a millisecond, a feat that even the most advanced computers cannot replicate with the same efficiency. Number 5. Elephants detect tsunamis. During the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004, elephants in Thailand and Sri Lanka demonstrated extraordinary behavior that saved not only their own lives but also those of nearby humans. Hours before the giant waves hit the coast, the pachyderms began behaving agitatedly, trumpeting loudly and moving to higher ground, taking tourists riding on their backs with them. Subsequent research indicated that elephants have the ability to detect infrasound, low-frequency sound waves that humans cannot hear. These sounds are produced by natural phenomena like earthquakes and can travel long distances through the ground. Elephants have specialized receptors in their feet and trunks that can pick up these vibrations from miles away, functioning as a natural early warning system. Number 4. The navigation system of sea turtles. Sea turtles perform one of the most precise navigations in the animal kingdom, returning to lay eggs on exactly the same beaches where they were born, even after decades and thousands of miles traveled across the oceans. This behavior, known as natal homing, involves a complex navigation system that uses multiple senses. Turtles can detect both the intensity and angle of Earth's magnetic field, creating a three-dimensional mental map of the oceans. Additionally, they seem to memorize the unique chemical composition of their natal beach and use this information as a final guide. Most surprisingly, newborn hatchlings already possess the ability to register this information in their first hours of life, through mechanisms not yet fully understood. Number 3. The mysterious dance of bees. In the fascinating world of bees, there exists a behavior that has intrigued scientists for decades: the dance of worker bees. Upon returning to the hive after finding a food source, these small workers perform a series of precise movements in a figure-8 pattern, known as the waggle dance. During this elaborate performance, the bee moves at specific angles, indicating exactly the direction and distance of the food source in relation to the sun. The complexity of this communication goes further, as the dance also conveys information about the quality and quantity of food found. Researchers discovered that bees can automatically adjust their calculations to compensate for the sun's movement throughout the day, demonstrating surprising mathematical ability. The movements vary in speed and intensity, with specific buzzing sounds that complement the message. This communication system is so precise that other bees can locate food sources miles away, even in areas never before visited. Number 2. Mouth brooding. Among nature's most peculiar parental behaviors, mouth brooding practiced by certain fish species stands out. In this extraordinary case, it's the male who takes responsibility for protecting the eggs, carrying them inside his own mouth for weeks. This behavior represents a remarkable sacrifice, as throughout the entire incubation period, the father cannot feed. The process begins after the female lays hundreds of eggs, which are immediately fertilized and collected by the male. For several weeks, he keeps the eggs safe in his mouth, periodically moving them to ensure proper oxygenation and prevent fungal growth. This behavior demonstrates an extraordinary level of parental dedication, with the male risking his own survival to ensure his offspring's success. Number 1. The courtship dance. In the heart of tropical forests, one of nature's most extraordinary spectacles takes place. Birds of paradise transform ordinary branches into stages for amazing performances. The male magnificent bird of paradise, for example, executes a performance worthy of the best professional dancers. With his gleaming turquoise blue feathers, he spreads his wings in a dazzling fan, creating a perfect frame for his hypnotizing blue throat. The movements are so precise, they seem to have been choreographed by a professional. The long-tailed urogalo takes this art to another level. During its performance, it inflates yellow air sacs in its chest, producing sounds that echo up to 3 kilometers through the forest. Males gather in specific areas, known as leks, where they compete for female attention through these spectacular displays. Now I want to know from you, which of these bizarre animal behaviors shocked you the most? Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to click on this video that's popping up on your screen because I picked it out just for you. Well, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Curious one?